Good morning. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from Trade Trade Academy. My name is Dele Ayemibo. We'll continue from where we stopped yesterday. Remember we are still discussing the fact that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars and the Nigerian state have everything to survive, even though the Nigerian state have not lived up to its responsibility because of the objective of some of the governors coming in. But now that we have new governor coming in, we're hoping that they will take a lead from some of the things we've been discussing to be able to help them to achieve the objective of helping the state to generate income. Because it's really not nice that Nigerian states are still having issues with income generation, such that a number of them are unable to pay salary. And the reason given is because they don't have money. And I'm saying, how can Nigerian state say it doesn't have money when you have so much product and services that can be rendered? Product and raw materials, rather, in terms of product, in terms of agri-commodity and solid minerals. So today I'll be talking about solid minerals. Yesterday I talked about banana in the morning and cocoa beans in the evening. Banana in the morning and cocoa beans in the evening. But today I'll be talking about lead oil. Lead oil. Lead oil is a mineral. It's a raw materials that can be used to produce batteries. The world trade is so fully integrated. Let me give you an insight into how the raw material like lead oil work. So for example, Nigeria can produce lead oil and ship it to China, and China can use it to produce lead ingot and ship it to Europe, and Europe can use it to produce battery and ship it to US, and US can put it inside a car. So you can see the way it moves from Nigeria. From Nigeria, it moves into to Asia, from Africa to Asia, from Asia to Europe, from Europe to North America. Now, so it's spanning about 4 continents at the same time. The same product, the same value chain of a product. And that's just telling us how complex, the complexity of world trade, integration of world trade together, and why. And that's why what is happening in a country can affect another country. US, for example, is have issue now with China. So China and US cannot do business together as usual. Before, there are some products that are having tariff from China, from US, and China retaliated also. So what has happened now is that people are now looking for other sources. So for example, we can do soya beans better now to China than before because US is a major producer in the world and also major supplier to China, is having issue with China. I'm just painting a picture of the integration of world trade and the fact that, look, we can decide as a country where we want to fit in the scheme of things. We can decide as a country where we want to fit in the scheme of things. So let's look at this. For lead oil, for example, lead oil is found in Nigeria. Lead oil is found in Nigeria is one of the African countries that are richly blessed with abundant natural minerals, and lead oil is one of them. And some of the states, what we try to do before we go into state-by-state analysis to prove that Nigerian states have what it takes to be able to pay the bills and pay salaries of their staff by just leveraging on the potential of export business. What I've been doing so far is talking about products and the state where product that can be found, and then checking the value of that product, the market size of that product, vis-a-vis what the state in question currently earn, and the budget of the state. And remember that one of our objectives, we have different models that we have suggested to the state governors. One of the models for agric is that they should form a cooperative, and I repeat this at every episode deliberately so that if you are joining for the first time you can understand. They should form a cooperative, and in forming this cooperative, they can then use the cooperative among the youth, by the way, among the youth, form the cooperative among the youth in different local governments of the state, fund the cooperative also, and train the youth, give them seedlings, give them everything and support they need to be able to produce those products. Remember, the government also have to have an agreement with a trading company that they will partner with, who will coordinate all this activity, check quality, get the buyer, and then the state governor, because of the money they've pumped in, the support they've given, have a higher stake, and the governor is able to get enough money to be able to fund the activities of the budget of the state for salaries and for wages and the like. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that with this model, I strongly believe, strongly believe the Nigerian state can become self-sufficient. Now, if it's minerals, because of the before the fact that we are not as developed as we should be for the sake of mineral. So what we can do for mineral is we can decide to bring in the expatriates to come and mine the mineral in your state. You provide the land, you set up the special purpose vehicle, get the mining license from the federal government, do all that you need to do, really the community consent, all that you need to do. These people just come in and hit the ground running. Mine, and then you have a sharing formula. And the beauty of those, when they come to mine, they want to buy your own from you. So they'll be paying the state for the one that you go to the state and then ship everything out. Now, we're even talking at the primary level. I'm not even talking about processing yet. Because now, what we can then do eventually is to convert that lead to lead ingot. And then from lead ingot, we can begin to export or even take it beyond lead ingot to other parts. I'm basically saying that Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state have no reason to be poor. Nigerian state have no reason to say they cannot pay salary. As a matter of fact, if a Nigerian state refuses to pay salary, it's just a sign of poverty of idea. So if they don't have the idea, okay, we are making the idea available free of charge. So now no state can say, oh, we don't have the idea, we don't know what to do. Because now 3D Imperial Academy is making that idea available free of charge for you to be able to use. So you can't say you don't have the idea. You can't say what we can then do eventually is to convert that lead. So you can't say you don't know what to do again, because we are making that information available, and it's deliberate. We're making it available. We're making it available so that people who are hearing us, when I begin to mention the state again today for lead and how much lead is in the world, you can begin to see, okay, if you have relationship in government, maybe you can forward it to your brother who is in politics, who has a relationship with the commissioner, and the commissioner can forward it to the governor. And somehow it gets to the governor, and governor can do. Like I said, we don't necessarily have to implement it for the state. We can consult for the state. We can come and train the people. And we are not really doing this because of what we want the state to give us. We are interested in doing it because of our interest in Nigeria, in order to ensure that Nigeria become great again, and we don't have a situation in which the governors are owing the citizen of the state because it's unable to pay the salary of the citizen of the state, of the workers of the state, and it's giving a reason that for me is just unfounded, it's just unacceptable, it's just not going to help. And we are saying, okay, fine. If the issue is the poverty of ideas, so can we make the information available free of charge so that people can have access to it online? So that means it won't be the fact that we don't have, or we don't know what to do, or we don't know how to go about it. Now that is readily available. The information is there and readily available for you to be able to engage your people to do what they need to do. So can we go through the state now? So I'll be going through the states in Nigeria that produce lead ore right now. In Nigeria, we have the following states that produce lead ore: Akwa Ibom, Imo State, Anambra State, Bayelsa State, Benue State, Enugu State, Niger State, Ebonyi State, Federal Capital, Plateau State, Cross River State, Taraba State, and Zamfara State. That's about 13 states in Nigeria that have lead ore. 13 states in Nigeria that have lead ore. So the question is this: so why are we not taking advantage of the lead ore? Why is a state like Zamfara not being able to take advantage of the lead ore? What is the challenge of the state? I think the challenge of the state is the fact that a number of the state governors are already used to collecting money from Abuja. But the question is this: what if that money does not come again? It's obvious that money is not even enough for the state governor. It's obvious that money is not enough for the state governor. You know why I say that? You know why I say it's not enough for the state governor? It's not enough for the state governor because they have a lot of loans that they've taken. A lot of loans. A lot of loans. A lot of loans. Let me tell you, let me give you the loan profile of some of these state governors, some state governments. Let me give you the loan profile of some of the state government. You know? Now, I'm trying to check up some of the states. For example, the state we have mentioned now. Let me start with one of the states. The first state here is, I want to leave the South state, even though most of them also have issues. Let me look at the state that doesn't have 13% derivation. Okay, let's look at Zamfara State, for example. Zamfara State. Let me start with Zamfara State. Zamfara State IGR. Zamfara State IGR is 49 billion. Sorry, Zamfara State IGR is 8 billion, and the allocation from federal government is 40 billion. 40 plus 8, that's about 48 billion. Roughly 50 billion. It's actually about 49 billion. Roughly 50 billion. So let's say Zamfara State have 50 billion. Zamfara State have 50 billion. But if you look at the debt of Zamfara State debt, Zamfara State is owing 59 billion naira and owing $33 million. $33 million. $10 million is 3.6 billion. $30 million is about 10 billion. So Zamfara State is technically owing $70 billion. Zamfara State yearly allocation is 40 billion naira. But the total debt is about 70 billion. 70 billion total debt, about 70 billion. What am I trying to say in essence? That this state is owing this much, but the state have lead oil. But look at the market of lead oil in the world. The market of lead oil in the world is showing us that total lead oil in the world for lead oil is 6 billion. Lead concentrate is also 6 billion. So totally we have about 12 billion. 4, 5, 7. About 12 billion. Combination. 12 billion. 12 billion is over 10 trillion naira. $12 billion is over 10 trillion naira. How much does this state need in a year? The state need just... Okay, let me look at the budget of Zamfara State. Let me see the budget of Zamfara State. Let me see the budget. The budget of Zamfara State for the year 2019. Okay, they didn't have it. They didn't put... I don't have it here. I don't have the budget of Zamfara State here. So, the budget of Zamfara State, let's say, like times 2, typically maybe times 2. But this state is owing. Now, the fact that the state is owing that much is a sign that the state is not having enough to fund its budget. Because sometimes you see a state earning about 50, 60, 70 billion in a year and having a budget of about 200 billion. And of course, they are not going to be able to meet that budget. What they do sometimes to be able to fund some of the budget with debt. They raise debt through bonds and the like to fund the budget. And in funding the budget with debt, the implication of that, in funding the budget with debt, implication of that is that the unborn generation of that state will have to pay. Because sometimes they have so much debt. Of course, it's a state, so it's a going concern, they will pay. Only that it's going to also shortchange the people in the future to be able to. Osage Samuel, thank you very much for your comment. So they leave unborn generation in debt. What I'm trying to say is that, and sometimes those money were borrowed, is not really used for that infrastructure. You and I know the way EFCC is chasing some former governor up and down. So some of those state governors are not sincere in the real sense of the word because they're chasing them up and down, showing that they didn't use that money correctly. Now, I'm even saying that state governor can even raise bond. They can raise bond. As in go to the capital market and raise a bond to be able to fund anything. The beauty of this model I've been talking about is, it's number one, make you to utilize the resources of your state. Number two, it creates job in your state for your youth. Number three, you raise money. So you are creating job for your people. You are giving you are putting money in their pocket. They are becoming more sustaining themselves, especially the youth and TP population. And then the state governor is able to use this one also to make money for themselves. So what I'm trying to say is that in essence, either way the state benefit. The state benefit number one in creating job. The state benefit number one in creating job for its people. Number one. But it doesn't just create job for its people. The state also make money for itself. The state also make money for itself. Let's go to Ebonyi State. Currently in Ebonyi State is a major location currently for mining of lead and zinc ore in Nigeria. Ebonyi State is a major location currently for mine of zinc and lead ore in Nigeria. Let's look at what Ebonyi State is earning. Ebonyi State, can you imagine? Ebonyi State IGR, Lord have mercy. Ebonyi State IGR is 6 billion. And Ebonyi depend on Abuja for 44 billion. Do you know what? Ebonyi State, despite that Ebonyi State have a lot of minerals. The money some individual companies are making Ebonyi State in a year is more than what Ebonyi State is making as a state. You know what I found out in Ebonyi State? Instead of Ebonyi State to do the model we are talking about, Ebonyi State depend on collecting 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 per truck mine loaning in the state. It's so unreasonable. You know why? If Ebonyi State is collecting money per truck, and they will collect exact amount. So that means if my lead ore weigh cost is about 10 million naira, you collect 200,000 or 300,000. If my lead ore is 2 million naira, you collect 200,000 or 300,000 or 400,000, whatever it is. The state is shortchanging itself because the state is looking for shortcut to get money, instead of getting involved themselves and making the money directly for the state government is just collecting money from truck. And you know what people have done? They now use small truck to move out of the state border and load the big truck, because if you move small truck is not the one that move the good out of the state. As long as the good is in the state, they won't collect money. But when you are going to come out of the state, but they use small truck, load in the night, move the good out of the state, and then load the big truck in other state and move it out. So they are still shortchanging the state. They are sure, and of course, the way Nigerian is, bribe everywhere. They can even bribe the people, give them some money, and move the good out. But I'm saying the state governor, you'll be amazed at how much people are making from Ebonyi State mining lead ore, lead oxide, zinc oxide, from what's the name, Ishiagu to in Puma to, so many places in Ebonyi State that, because I've worked with people that have mined in those places before. So, and Ebonyi State, Ebonyi cannot survive without Abuja. These are states in Nigeria that I pity a lot. A state that is earning 6 billion per annum and is collecting 44 billion, total 50 billion. That means this state, do you know the implication? That means just about 10% or maybe 15% of what the state need for a year is what it's getting. Let me check the budget of Ebonyi State. The budget of Ebonyi State is, what can you imagine? 188 billion. Now, Ebonyi State is making about 50 billion. Ebonyi State made about 50 billion last year and want to spend 188 billion this year. That is more than almost times 4. How will he fund it? Of course, he's going to use debt. Let me check the debt profile of Ebonyi State. Ebonyi State debt profile. Currently, Ebonyi State is owing 55 billion naira and $66 million. Now, $66 million, $30 million is about 10 billion naira. $10 million is about 3.6 billion. So 30 will be about 10 billion. I hope I'm right. $1 billion is 360. So 10 will be 3.6. 30 will be over 10 billion. So 10 billion. No, that's 20 billion. It's doing 66 million. That's over 20 billion. Over 20 billion plus 55 billion. That's about, in debt profile now is about $80 billion. 80 billion naira. Ebonyi debt profile is about 80 billion naira. This Ebonyi State, the money people are making from Ebonyi State, there are some big companies in Ebonyi State mining. Some of them are even into construction, but they are mining. Why are they mining? They bring in a lot of stuff into Nigeria, and they are looking for ways of reducing their cost by generating their own FS through export themselves. So Ebonyi State cannot rely on what's the name, on collecting what I would call stipend, kobo from people mining in the state, when the state can do much more. Ebonyi State should begin to consider mining itself. Ebonyi State should get in expatriate. There are consultants in Nigeria that can help you with this. I know people that can help Ebonyi State to do this. Bring in expatriate to come and mine in your state. You set up an SPV. Have a sharing formula with the state. Pay some money to develop the local government where that thing is being done. And then use the same remaining money to take care of the whole state. How will Ebonyi State be living in abject poverty and having and these are the states that will say they can pay 10,000, 30,000 minimum wage, 30,000 naira minimum wage. 30,000 is not even a living wage in the first place. It's not even a living wage. It's not even a living wage. It's not even a living wage. 30,000 minimum wage, and some people are not able to pay it. I can understand why they can't pay it. I can understand why they can't pay it because they don't have the money to pay. But is it that they really don't have money to pay? I said Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Now, let's go to another state. There's a state in Nigeria that if you say this hub of solid minerals, not like Nazarawa. Nazarawa calls itself the state of the solid mineral, home of solid mineral. But there's a state that is the hub. What I mean by the hub is the government agencies are there to be able to use to do different things. Government agencies. These government agencies have been in this place for long. So this state, even when the white men are here to colonize us, this is the state that was their hub as far as mineral is concerned. The state is called Plateau, on the plateau. So many opportunities on the plateau. Look at Plateau State income. Plateau State current last year earned 12 billion locally and received 43 billion from Abuja. The total is 56 billion. Total for Plateau State is 56 billion. But Plateau State budget is 148 billion. Plateau State want to spend times 3. Plateau State want to spend times 3 of their budget. So the income last year was 56, but the what's the name? The budget is 150. Budget is 148 billion. Now look at this. Look at this. Can we check the debt profile of Plateau State? Debt profile of Plateau State. Plateau State is owing about 110 billion naira. Plateau State is owing about 110 billion. Look, I can pardon Ebonyi State. I can't pardon Plateau State. I won't pardon Plateau State. Plateau State have more than lead and zinc, columbite, tantalite, a lot of other minerals in Nigeria are found in that state, in that axis. How can Plateau State be said not to have money? You know, sometimes when Plateau and Nazarawa are neighbors. Plateau and Nazarawa are neighbors. And it's interesting to know that Plateau State, we claim they don't have money. And because they don't have money, they are owing. But do you know how much Plateau State can make from exporting minerals? Do you know how much? Do you have an idea of what Plateau State can make exporting minerals? Because of the potential of different minerals in this state, a number of companies are in that state to be able to make money, and they're making so much money. And I'm saying state governors stop depending, state governors should stop collecting taxes from people that are coming to mine. Even if you want to do that, can you do that and own your own mine? What is stopping state from owning your mine? Federal government is the owner of the mine. So you go and register a company and get a license from federal government. Register a company and get a license from federal government. If you register a company and get a license from federal government, it becomes easier for you to be able to maximize opportunity. There are huge opportunities in mining. Only that Nigeria, we don't have enough skill yet to be able to tap it. And that's what I'm saying. Don't worry about that. You go after third party to help you. The Chinese are already in Nigeria mining for individuals. So is it a state governor that cannot bring them in? When individual companies, he is bringing them in, and they are mining for those companies, mining Nigeria away. And they have a sharing formula with those companies. So I'm saying Nigerian state can make a lot of money from mining of lead ore. From mining of lead ore. Can we look at the market of lead ore, for example? Like I said, the market of lead ore is about $6 billion. The same for lead concentrate, $6 billion. Who are the major producer of lead ore or major exporter of lead ore in the world? Mexico, United States, Peru, Bolivia, Russia, Turkey, Australia, South Africa, Morocco. Who are the major importer of lead ore? As usual, most minerals are imported by China. But you can understand the reason why China will be a major importer. China does not joke with processing. China does not joke with processing. China does not joke with processing. One of the things China will always do is processing of products. And China processes a lot of lead ingot. So China is a major person to consider. As far as lead ingot is concerned, China is a market you want to look at. When you're thinking of lead ore, look at China as the major buyer of lead ore. So currently, we also do lead ore. We currently actually are doing lead ingot, and our major target is China, South Korea, Japan, Canada, Germany, Luxembourg, Italy, Kazakhstan, Japan, Netherlands, Bulgaria, Australia. These are major markets for your lead ore. And what that is telling you basically is that these are the opportunities you have as a state to make all the money you can make and make your state a major hub to make all the money the state can make to be able to become independent of Abuja. All right, thank you very much for listening again today. My name is Delia Yemiba. This Import Export platform, Facebook Live from 3 Embedded Academy. Remember, every day we come to you in the morning. I'm coming early today because I have a program. So, and I hope maybe in the evening, I'll probably come early again in the evening because I have a program. But thank you very much for listening. Remember, the video go on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is 3 Thinkers TV. Visit the YouTube channel, click on the video, click on the like button, share the video with your friends and colleagues and family. Share with your friends who are politicians, who have relationship with commissioners. Share with your commissioners who have relationship with the governor. Share with the people that matter in your state to be able to take a step that will make your state great again. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now and have a great day at work.